Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is David and I'm making these videos I hope to help you guys understand a lot of your experiences and help you heal from trauma, stuff like this, and be a better person. Today's video is about abandonment, fear of abandonment. And it's not exclusive to people with borderline personality disorder, but it's a huge part of that disorder with people that have it. And so a lot of us may have fear of abandonment. And I want to dive into that and explain it, help you guys understand where it came from and why and stuff like this. Like I said, it's not exclusive to people with BPD. People that are narcissists, people that are toxic, unhealthy, people that were neglected in childhood and abandoned. That's where it started from, in childhood. There's many different forms of abandonment. Mom and dad have a role. And besides meeting the child's needs and loving them and caring for them, there is a single role for each of them. And this is something that I believe is implanted. It's something that is expected from a child. The mom offers security, safety, a safe physical environment and emotional, psychological, all of it. The father gets involved in the child's life and shows direction. So you have safety, direction. This is how you keep yourself safe. This is how you go about life and getting what you need. Okay? So there's many different forms of abandonment. Minimal communication with your child is a form of abandonment. Minimal physical needs met, right? Very common for poor children to be neglected and may not go to a doctor ever, often. Dentist, stuff like this. Forms of abandonment. Other people abused you. Parents did, fears of abandonment begin in childhood. One way could be because I was in a physically dangerous or violent environment. Whether it was dad that was yelling and screaming and banging and stuff, or whether it was a awfully dangerous neighborhood or dangerous home. Things that just aren't safe. Gone or absent. I often hear people say, oh, no, just for example, my dad didn't, I'm not affected much by my dad. It's my mom because my dad left when I was a kid and he was gone and never saw him again. So it's not him. Huge abandonment. Huge abandonment. My dad abandoned me. Dad not involved, showing you direction, not home, not much communication, working, all of that. Total abandonment, okay? So those are just some forms of abandonment. So, number one, the adult can't protect themselves. The adult child. The child who grows up, fear of abandonment, never learns to protect themselves from mom, right? So they don't know how to make themselves feel secure. Emotional needs have to be met by us first, and then we learn how to meet them in relationships, okay? So I need to learn how to make myself feel secure, emotionally, not just safe, physically, safe emotionally, right? Not just jump right into people and relationships and commit right away. And I got to keep myself secure, reassuring myself I'm always okay. I'm always okay. The borderline, the person with fear of abandonment, never did that. Never was taught that, never learned that, doesn't do that. They are dependent on others for their needs, such as security. So relationships with people with fear of abandonment tend to go too fast. They jump right in, right? Attachment immediately. I'm dependent on what I need. I can't be alone. That's very common for people with fear of abandonment issues. Even though they have such fear of abandonment issues, they're still not alone. And don't be. That's not the solution. No security with strangers. So when you meet somebody right away, you don't trust them, right? But how can you trust them in a week, 2 weeks? Because they tell you who they are? Because they did one nice thing? Because you had shared a good moment together? It was happy? They could have screwed you over the first time you went out, but they didn't, so now you trust them? No. We don't know who they are. If you place your child in a stranger's arms, how can you feel like that child's going to be okay till the next day when you come back and get them? No, we trust our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents to take care of our children. We trust our neighbor if we know them for years, right? We don't trust strangers. But imagine if you had to. Like someone who fears abandonment, who wasn't taught to keep themselves safe, who attaches immediately, who has sex immediately, invites them in their house immediately, tells them everything. And now you have to trust them. You have to trust a stranger. You've committed, you've invested, you've trusted them, you've been vulnerable, they know everything about you. Are they going to stay? Are they going to leave? Do they like you? You don't know them. You don't know them. There's no security. There's no reassurance. And this is where perceived abandonment surfaces. That's stressful. That is stress. And so this fear of abandonment surfaces. So what do? It's very common for someone that fears abandonment to abandon the relationship. It's also common with someone with perceived abandonment, fears of abandonment issues, to always seek constant reassurance. Do you like her? Do you still love me? Are you going to stay with me? Are you going to leave me? Are you going with her? Are you dating somebody else? You can't reassure someone that cannot reassure themselves. So it doesn't work. So there is abandonment coming. And so they either abandon or you abandon them. And it's perceived. This is perception. You can leave someone, tell them it's over, but if they have massive fear of abandonment and highly insecure and not very aware of themselves or the situation, you just abandon them again. So when abandoning a relationship, it's really important to understand that you're also abandoning yourself. When someone with fear of abandonment or borderline abandons you, their partner, and leaves, you're not the only one that's abandoned, so are they. When you abandon somebody, up and leave, you abandon yourself. You're abandoning your relationship, your feelings. You're abandoning everything you invested. You're abandoning the future you had planned with them. All abandonment. And so now that borderline or that person with fear of abandonment issues, whether they left or the other person left, they have feelings of abandonment. And this feelings of abandonment just triggers more and more desperation to find somebody else that won't abandon me. And more experiences I have of abandonment, the more my brain tells me you're going to be abandoned. It's a vicious, vicious cycle. Vicious. Cheating is the best way for a toxic person to stay safe, never commit, and never get hurt, and never be abandoned. I can't think of a better way for someone to not commit to you but pretend to, and see you every day and attach to you and be, have feelings for you and stuff. Cheating. It's okay if they leave me and abandon me. I have someone else. I won't be alone. I don't really care about them. I hope this explains some of the behaviors of toxic people that you may have had in your life or still have. Abandonment issues are horrible for children and for adults that still have them. Anybody that has fear of abandonment must learn how to reassure themselves and offer emotional security for themselves. Then you can offer it in relationships, and then someone can reassure you and offer security for you. It's about loving yourself so someone else can love you. Okay? I hope this helps some of you guys understand maybe why you've been abandoned or why you have fear of abandonment and what happened in relationships and why they turn out the way they do and why they feel the way they do. Let me know what you guys think. If you have abandonment issues, like a lot of us, let us know what you think about what I said and maybe some of your experiences, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, always ask questions. I'll always answer them. If you feel this is helping you or somebody else, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, vote up or down, share it with somebody else. Always comment, ask questions. I'll always answer them. Thank you, guys. Love yourself first. Bye-bye.